Whew, this tub is hot right now. Oh my god. Shit, where's my phone? Okay. Alright. Hello and welcome. Let me just see something real quick. Okay. Whew. It's so hot in here. Oh, I think I made the water too hot. But that's okay. That's okay. You know, that's alright. Let me just get some things just set up and then we'll get started. Oh my god. Okay. If I don't pass out, this is gonna be really great. Alright, so first off, goddamn, where is that? Sorry, excuse me just for 1 sec because I just need to be able to see the chat and just in case, you know, I don't want to miss anybody. Ooh, yeah. All right. Well, let me just open up a little bit for. So this segment is about religious trauma and being trans within religious trauma. So, and not a factual live this time. It's gonna be a lot more. I'm just sharing my personal story. Okay, everyone's got their story, and here's mine. So honestly, I brought some wine. This is not to be sacrilegious. Like honestly, not to be sacrilegious at all. Mormons don't even drink wine. Like they for like communion or like sacrament or whatever you want to call it. We're all walks of life. Here we go, and I have a really beautiful clear coffee espresso tea cup, if you will. Okay, so I've been anxious as hell all day because of this topic. Just to open that up, hold on 1 sec. Delicious $10 wine. It didn't even have a cork. I don't know if you noticed that. There's a screw off. Okay, so today's been a lot, but this is something. So this is a really really heavy subject for me. I'm not gonna like cry or anything. Don't worry about that. But it's like, you know, this is my personal story of my journey through being raised Mormon and being a trans male. So, let's see. All right. I think we're just gonna start into it. Honestly, I listened to probably like the same like 2 songs all day long. I was in my head. I was pacing around my house. This is just like this is a not like a big deal like freak out, but it's a big deal to me. So, and if it comes down to it, I think it's worth sharing this story. Someone told me to set like intentions, like what are your intentions with this? My intentions, honestly, to show that it can get better, for one, to show that you can make it through, and to show that there's some people out there that are going through something similar. If somebody can relate to this at all, religions can be a bitch and a beast, and yeah, it's, I feel like, necessary for us to be a little bit more vulnerable and open about what our pasts are with religion, because I know, so I grew up in the South, so just because people didn't grow up Mormon like doesn't mean they didn't grow up in a religion. And the LGBTQIA plus community is pretty damn big, so I know that there's people that can relate to this. So all in all, at the end of the day, I don't know if I'm telling you this or telling me this, it's worth it. Just get it out and let's go. So okay, I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna sit back and kind of relax a little bit, but make sure I don't flash you, you lucky bastards. I'm just kidding. Okay, so from the beginning, I was born into the church. Okay, I was born into the Mormon Church, LDS, Latter-day Saints Church, down in Middle Tennessee. So one thing, fact-wise, when you're in the church, they kind of teach you that the bishop's gonna know if you're lying or not. So it's always like, okay. So, and also they switch bishops every 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a calling for that bishop. It's a calling for that person. And if they decide to probably say no, then obviously their faith is going to be questioned to an extent. And so I feel like if I was asked, like, what other pressure, like, you'd have to say yes. Basically, you'd have to say yes, or like you're in reconsideration of like, well, like the Lord chose you. Like, why would you not do this if He asked you to do this? So it's intense. So they switch every 5 years. I was thinking about not mentioning certain things because I like if, but honestly, this person's never gonna watch this, so I really don't care. And like, fuck it. This is my story. This is what happened, and here we are. So yeah, we had a bishop that nobody liked. Just straight up say it. This was a while back. So he, not even my parents liked him. Like, that was like, my dad growing up, he was not a member of the church. My mom was a convert. So neither of my parents like grew up in the church as like kids. So they're just parents doing their best, doing what they think they need to do, and I don't blame them for that, and I don't have grudges. I honestly, I went through a period of time where I was like, why the hell would you ever raise your kid in a religion, and like had that whole outburst moment and was really angry and really resentful, and probably because it was right after I got excommunicated, and I'm going to get to that point because I got excommunicated, and but I was, okay, I'm just going to back it up. I'm going back to the beginning. Here we are. So basically, when I was 16, 17, I was a female, and I started dating women. I had my first girlfriend. I actually came out to a girl in church. We have like, there's like Wednesday night, Thursday night, kind of like youth group kind of things. And I would go to them, and I was literally, I think I was 16 going on 17 maybe, or I guess that's the number after 16. And so we were sitting in the hallway. I remember we were sitting in the hallway on this like weird carpet. It was like old building, whatever. And I was like, Kelsey, her name was Kelsey, whoops. And I was like, Kelsey, I think I'm gay, or I think I'm a lesbian. I never resonated with the word lesbian, so I always just said gay. I don't know why, but that is what it is. And it makes sense. But she was, honestly, her response was really great. She used to drive me to school. She was really cool. She was really sweet. And her response was just very like, okay, like that's okay, like, and that was kind of it. And we didn't really ever talk about it ever again. But then then me and my first girlfriend in high school, I was a junior, she was a senior. We got caught making out in the bathroom by this girl named Chelsea. It was Chelsea and Kelsey. These are the two Mormon girls that I knew, whatever. And we're like making out, whatever, like going at it, high school lesbians in the bathroom. And I turn around because I heard someone come in, and I'm like, we're not even in a stall or anything. We're just straight up like, we're hanging. And I think I remember like texting like, hey, meet me in the bathroom, let's make out. But so we're in there doing our thing, and I turn around and I'm like, Chelsea. And she wore a lot of like kind of whiter face powder, but I swear to God, this girl turned white and was like, and then turned around and just left. I didn't hear from her. No conversation was had after that ever. I don't think. Maybe like running into each other like, oh, how you been? And I'm like, inside I'm like, remember that time that you fucking walked out? But no, like, so that happened, and the next period was lunch. So I went to lunch. I don't know why I said lunch so weird. I went to lunch, and FP, I think his name was Frederick Patrick, which like, no wonder he went by FP. FP was like, he came up to me because I remember I walked into the cafeteria and I was like, I feel like everyone's like talking about me. I feel like, but I also like smoked a lot of weed, so like, naturally I was like, I feel like everyone knows I'm high. But I was like, I feel like everyone's looking at me or talking about me, or like I'm getting pointed at. It was just weird. It's probably mostly in my head, but I know something was going on because FP came up to me and he was like, Andy, are you a lesbian? And my like attitude, teenage ass, was like, shut the fuck up, no, like, why would you even ask me that? Of course I got like defensive, it was a whole thing. And then he came back, I guess. I don't remember what happened. I think he like was like, okay, whoa, whoa. He's probably like, damn, bitch, chill out. And he came back and he was like, are you though? Like, it's okay if you are. And I was like, I mean, I'm dating. Beep. I'm not gonna say her name. We just won't go there. But I'm dating this girl, and yeah, okay, I am like whatever. And then so soon after, my mom asked me in the kitchen, "Are you dating that girl that you've been hanging out with a lot?" And I same thing. Got super defensive. No, fuck that. That's just what did I say? Like that's gross, mom. Like, ew. Like, I don't know. It was something of the sort. But and so, and then I stormed upstairs, and I also was just like I was so pissed off, and like everything was like happening. I was gonna say for Jesus, but that's just a little too far. I'm not fighting hate with hate at this point. I mean, not saying sacrilegious. Anyways, whatever, whatever. Cheers to Jesus. There it is. I had to get it out. Okay. Anyways, my mom asked me, and I came back down, and I was like, yes, like who cares? Like, what if I am? What are you gonna do? Kick me out? I'm already like I'm packing a bag right now. My attitude was on point. I was very dramatic. I'm a Gemini. I'm reactive. I didn't know anything about myself back then, and so it was like, pow. Like like yeah. Anyways, so that happened, and then I go to church. It's like a couple of weeks after that, and I'm like, okay, so like I'm out, like whatever. Like my mom like cried. My dad was like, it's a phase, and I was like, and my mom was like, George, like think about it. Like Andy, like growing up was like a tomboy, and like honestly my parents' reactions, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky, and I'm so grateful. And there's not an ounce in my body that will ever take that for granted, because I know people personally whose parents were not like that. And I mean, I've dated people whose parents are not like that either, and that was rough for them and for me on the other end, but obviously more intense for them. But anyway, so I'm very grateful. I had to just say that real quick. So my mom, yeah, they basically were like, yeah, you were like a tomboy growing up. It makes sense. So then we're going to church, and the bishop, the one that nobody likes. Sorry. No, he was just weird. I don't know. He had a weird vibe about him. I wasn't a fan of. I just didn't like that. And like, I didn't like his like sons. I don't know. It was just like weird. His son would like brag about driving his car really fast. It was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so, anyways, so I get called into his office, and so keep in mind I'm underage, and I get pulled out of like there was sacrament meeting. Uh, Shit. I haven't been in a while, obviously. It's a 3 hour session of church every Sunday. 3 hours. 3 hours. 3 full hours. First hour, sacrament meeting. Second hour, relief society. That's what it was. Where you like congregate and you like talk, and it's like all the adults in a room and whatever. And then you split up to like young men's and young women's. So it's very sex like split, So I'm in young women's class or whatever, and I get pulled out, and he's like, yeah, I just need to talk to you, Andy, if you're available. If I'm available, you're the bishop, I have to be available. What am I going to say? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really interested in what's happening right now. I need to stay. Like, they'd be like, oh, well, then why are you questioning your leader? I don't know. So I was like, oh, sure, yeah, my schedule just freed up. Let's roll. Let's go. So we go, and I sit in his office. I'm like, it's me and him. I'm wearing like a skirt. I don't know. I'm already uncomfortable enough. And so it's me and him. We're talking, and he says, "Well, I've heard," and I'm wondering, was it Kelsey or was it Chelsea that told, or was it the parents? Probably the parents told it, or somehow word got out. I heard that you are experimenting with women, and he crosses his legs all weird, and I'm like, should I cross my legs right now? Like, is that like, honestly, like, I was like, what is happening? And so he was like, yeah, I heard that. So I really need you to, like, please explain. Like, makes it like this whole, like, please elaborate kind of thing. But remember back to the fact of when you're growing up in the church, you're taught that the bishop will always know if you're lying. So obviously I'm like, okay, you what to explain. Well, I'm dating this girl. I was like, and we met this way, and it was at a party, and then we made out, and there's a whole, like, I was like, well, I mean, if you want to know, like, I'm gonna give you the facts, man. Like, so I gave him those facts, and then he talks about having sex with women, and then he was like, I need to, like, what do you like? How far exactly are we talking? And I'm like, okay, um, well, we make out, and then like we take each other's clothes off, and then like we like do this and do that. I mean, there's enough porn out there if you really want to know how it's done with two girls having sex and you don't know by now. Look it up. I'm not gonna sit here and explain it, but I did explain all the details to the bishop. Just me as 16 or 17 years old in a room. Just oh shit! I forgot to give a whole like trigger warning to all this. I'm sorry. Trigger warning. Shit. Anyways, religious trauma trigger warning. Also, just like being in I never got abused by him or anything, but just being in a room alone with a man as you're like when you're like a cisgendered female and you're wearing like a skirt that you're already like not comfortable wearing and like it's just a whole thing. Yeah, I didn't like that. And he keeps like crossing his legs in all these weird ways. I'm like, in the back of my mind these days, I'm like, did he have a boner? Like, is that what was happening, or am I just being an idiot? Like, cause back then, I was like traumatized and realizing like this doesn't feel okay. This doesn't feel right. I don't like this. And so then that little meeting ends, but it ends with him saying, "Okay, Andy, you know what? I really think that this requires some higher council attention, and I think that we need to start maybe doing weekly meetings, and I could come to the house and meet with you and your family." As I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, come to the house? What? I hate this right now. I hate saying all this that it happened and not and like and in the moment I was like, oh, okay, shit, like I'm caught. Uh-oh, like what's happening now? I don't understand what's happening. Like I felt like full on in trouble. And usually I can talk myself out of trouble. I kind of have that. This is a strange ability, but like I mean like in school and shit. But yeah. So I left that meeting, feeling like shit, feeling like I committed a crime, and really really sad and confused, and not knowing what to do about it. This was my upbringing. This was my foundation. This was my ground. This is everything I knew. Not like I was like gonna start a Mormon club at school or anything. I wasn't super out and open about being Mormon because it was different, and I felt like I already had enough different shit going on anyways. I'm pouring another glass. a shot, if you will. I don't know. But and so it was honestly that shit sucked. Like that reaction sucked ass, like bad. And then so I go and talk to my mom and I'm like, hey, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I want to leave. I don't want to be here right now. And she's like, what's going on? And I was like, the bishop just called me to his office and like told me that I need to start meeting with him once a week and doing all these things and like that it's like an offense. I remember him using like the high, like this is a high alert offense. What is that from Monsters Inc? Like 23. It's a 2319 is what I felt like it was happening. I was just like shit. Like get the sock off my back. But like it was honestly like my mom's face when I told her that. She was like the face of like, oh hell no. And I thought I was in trouble at first, and I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to tell him all these things. And she was like, he pulled at the time my daughter into his room, office, or whatever without my permission, and you're 16 or 17 years old. I don't remember honestly. It's probably somewhere in between. And so she was pissed, and it felt good for her to be pissed. I was like, hell yeah, like I got somebody on my side with this, and that's also like what I said. Like that's rare, and I know it's rare, and it's sad that it's rare, and I am very appreciative. But yeah, so she, as a mom in that sense, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, I've tried my best to see her perspective, and I get it for sure. Like, what are you gonna do? This, I mean, me on the other hand, I don't know. I would like to say that I would just march my ass through that office and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" But at the same time, that's your religious leader at the moment, and I can't imagine. I mean, I know what I was going through, and that's like enough. But like, I can't imagine being a parent and having like the religious leader telling your child that what they're doing to be themselves is wrong, and it's a high offense, and that we need to start doing all this counsel, um, and not being able to just go up in there and punch the dude in the face, because obviously you would get kicked out, and yeah, so she didn't. I don't know what she did exactly. I think she eventually met with him and they talked. And I remember I was like, "What did he say?" So because I'm still a teenager, I'm like, "Did you kick his ass?" Like I'm like that's where I was at. And so like sorry, I just feel like okay. She was like, is that too much? I feel like. I mean, I don't care. Whatever. Like, I don't have like a huge dick floating in the pool. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, so, she comes back. That was a lot. She comes back and she's like, yeah. I mean, like, she's conflicted. Honestly, it was like whatever I was telling her, she was like, yeah, you're right. And then she'd go talk to him and be like, yeah, shit, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause he was the leader. Like, what are you supposed to, like, what, like I said, what are you supposed to freaking do? Like, drink when I drink. If you're drinking, drink when I drink. Just do it. Not promoting alcoholism. Just do it for fun. Anyway, so then that all happens, and do you know what that caused for me? This is when self abuse started. This is when I started cutting like bad, and I was in freshman year. Oh wait, freshman year? No, sophomore year. I was like, wait a minute, that didn't happen then. So I was in sophomore year, and I'm cutting, and it's not to get attention. It's because I have all of a sudden this huge black hole of guilt that is inside of me, tearing my ass apart. It felt like, you know, like if your heart chakra was literally just a black hole, and everything you do, like all of a sudden, like my dating life with my ex or my first girlfriend, like wasn't working out really well, and like things were like I was getting all insecure and crazy and weird and wild about it because like I was told that it was wrong. So I'm like internally battling my upbringing and battling myself and battling like I remember driving and just crying and driving and just like raging and driving so fast, and I would drive so fast and I would close my eyes and like see how long I could drive super fast with my eyes closed. Like I was over it. I was ready to go. Like I didn't know how to, and that wasn't a suicide attempt. That was like an adrenaline rush for me at the time because I couldn't feel anything anymore. Because like and also I'd add the SSRIs, and that's a fun little cocktail. But so yeah, I just remember being so. I was really fucking hurt by not by my parents. I mean, they were the ones I took it out on at the time because what am I gonna go do? Like TP the bishop's house? I think we did at some. I don't know, but no, like that. I didn't feel like my parents were on my side as much as they could be, but I didn't feel. I still felt alone, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't feel like I could trust anybody at the church anymore because I thought that Chelsea told the bishop on me, and that's what got me there in the first place. Um, yeah, so I started not going as much, and when I did go, I would have panic attacks. Like I said, that first hour of sacrament meeting, that's like, you know, when you take like sacrament, all of a sudden I wasn't like so, okay, so sacrament in Mormon church is bread and water instead of like the cracker thing and wine. And so basically that is you being forgiven for your sins for like the previous week. Like wow, what a easy way to go. Can we just do that every day? Like this is okay. But it's a really reverent and quiet moment when these guys come around with the trays and pass them to your rows, and like it's known like you're supposed to be thinking about how Jesus died on the cross for you, and like how it's just like a very like grateful, like I'm sorry kind of moment. And like I would sit there, and I was like, okay, well, I don't feel like my sexuality is wrong. Like genuinely, I don't feel like that. It's not just like this teenage way of like, well, I'm taking the sacrament anyways. Like no, I was like, well, what did I do this week that was wrong? I don't know. Maybe I cheated on a test. Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Well, let's apologize for that one. And so I would take the sacrament still, and I remember the same bishop pulled me into his office again, and I was like, fuck, here we go. He was like, Andy, I saw that you took the sacrament. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm sorry, but you can't take the sacrament anymore. I was like, what? Like, why? Like, so I can't be forgiven for my like sins anymore. I guess it's just because I was continuously doing them or whatever. So yeah, so then, and that's when I noticed like, oh shit, like he's like totally watching and seeing when I take the sacrament and shit. So then I just would pass myself, like, and that was enough to make you feel like shit as a 17-year-old who is self-abusing and feeling like you're just screwing up 24/7 for no reason. And yeah, and that's also when I started drugs. And my first drug was mushrooms. Before alcohol, before weed, I somehow got my hands on mushrooms. I don't know how I did that, but I did. And because it was like, this sounds like a great time, because this is going to take me away from the fucking earth. Like, this sounds perfect. Like, alcohol's not going to do it. You're just still going to be there. Weed, like, I don't want to smoke. I don't know. I'm scared. And at the time. And so then, like, straight up, like, it was, yeah, I started cutting, I started doing drugs, and then I started smoking weed, and then I started smoking weed a lot. I probably stayed high the majority of high school. I would leave in between classes and go smoke in my car, and then come back. I'd smoke out of an apple. It was a whole thing. And then come back, like, I don't know how I didn't get in trouble. My ass was lit. I had like a cinnamon Pop Tart. It was a whole thing. But so then I started avoiding the church. And yeah, so my church was next to a high school, like a private school. And so when I was in sacrament meeting, I'm sitting there and I'm like twitching. Like I didn't want to be there, but I felt guilty for not going because that's just how it goes. And like, it's like, well, when you don't go is when the time you really need to go. Like that was, I mean, I don't mean to mock that in a sense because like, it's kind of a true thing. Like when you, I don't know, like then in a lot of scenarios, like, I don't know. I don't know about that. But so when I would go, I'd be sitting next to my mom and I'm like shaking, and I look at her and I'm like, I'm out of here. She's like, what? Like, no. Like I broke my mom's heart probably 1,000 times, but just because I can't imagine seeing your child go through that for no reason. And so then I would leave and I would go over to the school and just be crying, like, and like I remember like clawing at my body. I wanted out so bad. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't know how. Like how do you, like, when you're like, I'm not a half-ass kind of person. When I do something, I like to commit. Um, and so like growing up in that church, like I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. Okay, cool. Like let's do it. I'm in. Let's do it. And like even though I was uncomfortable all the time, I still had my own personal connection with a higher power within that church and stuff. And so as time went on, I didn't go as much anymore, and I felt guilty every single Sunday. And to feel guilty every single Sunday, I know a lot of people can relate to that, even on a like minute level, um, just from knowing that church happens on Sundays, and if you don't go, it's like, but and then there's the whole like religious shame that you get in the South. Like if you're seen out on a Sunday, like during church hours or something, it's like, mm-hmm. Like the Lord sees you at TJ Maxx right now. We know, but it's like fuck. But shit, put it all back. Put it all back. Let's go. But so anyway, so then as time went on, I graduated high school. I remember I moved to Iowa, and I when I moved, that was a random move. I did some music up there. I had some friends. It was a whole thing. But I remember I brought a Book of Mormon with me, and I think it was just to have something from my rooted past with me in a whole new state, a whole new city, uh, and it felt comforting until the fact of when we ran out of weed papers. My friend was like, "Let's just use a paper from that," and I was like, "Oh." And I felt like, I mean, I don't know, I was like kind of not socially awkward on the outside, but on the inside, I was freaking the fuck out like all the time. But just like, anyway, so we ended up smoking a joint from a paper of the Book of Mormon, and I remember crying so hard that night because I felt like I fucked up even more. Like it was, and like why? Like that's like it's a like there was I mean I know why, because there was a lot of, I never even read the thing like cover to cover or anything. I just read it in classes and stuff, but it was like still like I remember just being so upset, and I like wrote in a journal, and I was like, why am I even here right now? Like I want to go home. Like this is crazy. Eventually, I went home, and I went back to church for a little bit. And at this point, I had cut my hair and I was wearing suits to church. And this was like a really cool moment because like I felt good, and I felt like people could tell that I felt good. And so like I grew up in that church, like from baby to whatever. Like so there was people at that church that have known me since I was literally an infant. And so it was like um when I went back with a suit on, like I got a lot of really good feedback. Like they're like, "Oh my god, you look so good." Like everyone was really nice, and so I felt like I was like, okay, like maybe I can just come back as myself, and the church is gonna be fine. And it wasn't exactly the case. I don't remember if this is when the new yeah, okay. So at this point we have a new bishop. So that bishop's out. I won't say bad, but like we didn't like him. And so then we have this new guy. This new guy, super, super sweet. Love this guy. I think it was this guy. Maybe there's one in between. There is one in between. Either way, both of these two that are after that terrible one are pretty good. And so I start wearing the suit. I start going. And then gay marriage comes out. And at a theater near you. No, and then gay marriage comes out. And I remember our church had like a congregation meeting thing about it, and I was sitting there, and I was like, and I was looking at my mom, and like I felt super hopeful. I was like, oh my god, like I think, like why would we have a meeting about this if they're not gonna like agree with it and go with it? Like my naive ass, like clown face, full on, like why would I ever expect that the Mormon church would be like, you know what? I think we're gonna do that. Like gay marriage seems totally great. Like so I had this like false weird hope in my head. I just wanted my guilt and self hate and self harming and all that to just stop and to go away. So I hoped for the best. So I'm sitting there in the congregation looking up. I remember having this like cool, like darkish purple. So I'm sweating so bad. Like darkish purple uh, blazer on. It's very cool. I think my little brother has it now, which is like it's a good one. It was a good one to pass down. So I have this darkish purple blazer on. I remember that, which is irrelevant. Whatever. The color of my suit is irrelevant. But I'm sitting there and I make eye contact with the bishop as he's about to tell us what's up. And I notice he looks like extra sad. We make eye contact and it looks like he's about to cry. And I think that's when I start crying. Like, not like full on, like, but like tears were coming down my eyes. And I'm sitting next to my mom. And he basically was announcing that we weren't supporting that. So that was kind of like, okay, ouch. So there wasn't like, my hope was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller as time went on. And I'm gonna sit back a little bit. And ooh, posture. My God, don't you just anyways. Don't you just wish your spine would just stay straight and you wouldn't have to do anything about it mentally? Um, no, but so then I remember going home, probably self harming again. That kind of swung back around into my life. I stopped for a while and then it came back. Um, and then as time went on, I had started dating other girls or other women. And I remember, so I went to hair school. I had like my first love. Like she went to hair school with me, and she was very Christian. And I remember in the back of my mind thinking like, okay, well she's really Christian, so like maybe eventually she can convert to Mormons, and like we can just be like Mormons together. Like I was that rooted. Like I don't know if that's a knife twisting or if that's like you're like screwing something in and you're just like plugging it in and not getting the outlet. It's like I don't that it was. I was that rooted. I was that far in to where I, in the back of my mind, kept thinking that I could change the minds of these girls that I was with, and one of them almost considered it. Like not like it would matter. It's not like we could be together in the church because like church isn't for that. Um, but one of them actually did like consider it, and uh, it just I don't know. And then that didn't work out. Like, obviously, we broke up, whatever. But and so then I met my. So I've been married once. I met my ex-wife at the time. We got a mutual divorce. We're really good friends. I don't know if I mentioned this on here already or not. Whatever. But before we got married, I remember still, and this is at this point I'm 27 at this point, and I remember still thinking this is 10 years of like bullshit to go through for no reason, and to still have this crazy guilt that's like stabbing me in the freaking center of my chest and making me feel like shit every day and making me feel wrong every time I did something. And here's the thing, like I dated guys in high school too, and you know what felt wrong was it felt wrong when I dated guys in high school. Like that wasn't right for me at the time. Like dating anyways, but um I didn't date I did anyways, okay. It's I'm like where was I? That was a lot. But okay, yeah, I met my ex-wife and she was very much I don't remember. She was like a Satanist at the time. Oh, I love the girl. She's great. No, but she was like spiritualist, also Satanism. There was like all these little things, and I was like, Satanism? Of course, like my Mormon ass was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I didn't even know what that. I was obviously like my first like guess was like, oh my god, that means you're like worshiping the devil. Like, what? Like, who am I with? Like, but I also like, I love you. You're great. What are we doing? But no, so yeah, and I still remember in the back of my head, thinking like, oh my god, like maybe she would join, like maybe we could do that together or something. Like I just wanted validation of like, you know what, you're okay, and just because this church doesn't think so, that doesn't mean anything, and I couldn't find that. My parents tried everything. I mean, everything that they could, but at the same time, they're still members and are still members now, which is I'll get to that in a sec. But no, I just wanted someone to tell me that I was fine and that I didn't have to feel guilty anymore, and to like live that out with me. And so eventually, Lex, my ex-wife, and I got married. And at this point, like I said, that new bishop was the one that I ended with. He's a really good guy. I actually really like him. I do hair for a living, and I started cutting his hair. And I worked at like this kind of edgier place. It was like barbershop, salon, whatever. And he would even come into there, and he was coming in his like work clothes, because like you don't get paid as a bishop. I don't think. I honestly I don't think so at all. But so he still had like a normal job. So he would come in like after work or during work or whatever, and I would cut his hair. We wouldn't talk about church. We wouldn't talk about anything like that. It was just, how's your day going? Oh, it's great. Blah 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 blah. Like whatever. I could talk to a wall. It doesn't matter. But I remember he was just like super good with my family. Like I don't know. I liked him. I had respect for him. He just seemed genuine. The fact that he like was tearing up when he was making the speech about gay marriage, or it seemed like that to me. I could feel something from him of like empathy or sympathy or something for me, and it's kind of like, well, if you freaking feel that, then like, hello, we gotta change the game, dude. We got like something's gotta give, and you're leading it, so let's roll. I got you. I'll be VP, whatever you need. But no, it's so the day that I got excommunicated, okay, because at this point in church, um, they were trying to meet with me all the time, and I dodged them. I remember dodging them so many times, so many times. Even if I would go, I'm like, ding ding, okay, class is over, I'm on. Hey, oh god, I wish I could stay. I've got homework. Like, or I have to work tonight, or like, so I had something. I mean, and I obviously it was lying, but like because I didn't. What? I did homework? No, I didn't. I mean, yes and no. Early in the morning before school, but like it was. Yeah, I avoided it a lot because I knew either I was going to be excommunicated or I knew that they were going to try and um, get a plan going for me to change it up sexually and straighten me out, if you will. I won't say pray the gay away because they didn't really say that, and they didn't really like have that program, if you will. Ugh. Anyways, so I avoided it left and right. I was very good at running from that shit, obviously, because I ran from it for 10 years. Um, so then I get married. So that is a same sex marriage. And that's a big no in the Mormon church. So the time has come. So, and at this point in time, I think this is. So I smoked a lot of weed, like I said. I tripped acid here and there a lot in my early 20s on the weekends. I did mushrooms, whatever. I never did anything hard. Like no heroin, no cocaine, no meth, no ketamine even. Like not like, and I know that's a whole like separate treatment thing, but not like not recreationally, like where people were taking a fuck ton of it and like zonking out on the couch. But so at this point in my life, this is when. Oh, this was like during slash at the ending of the 2 years that I did cocaine for a straight like year and a half to 2 years, and because I mean, at this point, I was just a fucking mess. I didn't realize how far off the deep end I've gone, but I really, really, really started to struggle to live in my body and understand what that even meant. I didn't feel like I deserved better. I didn't know of any better that it could get. Being trans wasn't on, I won't say on trend at the time, but it wasn't popular at the time. It wasn't as accepted or even like known about at the time. So like, yeah, at this point, having that, I mean, yes, I got married. That was a happy time, but yeah, he came to the house. I'm trying to remember how this went down. He came to the house with the letter, and I think I had to sign something. Yeah, I had to. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, he mailed it. I got it in the mail, and then I had to sign it, and then he came and picked it up. I think. I just remember. Yeah, he came and picked it up because I remember his face, and I don't think I don't think he's ever excommunicated anybody. It's not like a normal thing that happens all the time. Um, and I remember his face of like he like it was the same face that he gave me when he announced gay marriage. Like it was intense. And yeah, there was I didn't know how to process it right away. There was no fear or no like feeling of relief. Uh, if anything, I got kicked out of something that I didn't even ask to be in. Um, which like is where it comes back around to my parents, but like they honestly like they were doing like I had that time of getting angry and going through like a forgiveness period of time with them, because they didn't know that that would be a thing. Like I can't go any like deeper than that. They just didn't freaking know. And the fact that they like accept me and care about me, like I think that says enough to me of like, okay, like you guys didn't fucking know. So that was my grounding, my stability, the one last thing that I had. Because even in like the midst of my cocaine use and losing my job and going through it, I just felt like this was like rock bottom, and that was the last thing I had. I lost like my like living situation. I wrecked my car. I lost my job. Uh, and the one thing that I was holding on to was like my spiritual connection, because I've always been like very spiritually in tune, if you will. And but that channel, I still am spiritually in tune. It's just a different channel. It's hard to explain. I'm very much into spirituality, and I'm very much into like metaphysics and science and stuff, but not Scientology. Just to clarify, nothing wrong with Scientology. I don't know anything about Scientology. I'm not even gonna get on that. I saw a documentary. It seemed like a money sucker, but like who knows? I have never experienced it. Whatever. But yeah, that was. And then I started. Then Lex and I moved to North Carolina. I got clean, and I started testosterone because I figured out what was like. I hit rock bottom, and I figured out like I need to change something or something. Like I need to figure out where like what's going on with me, and I did. And surprise, I'm trans. And that all made a fuckload of sense. So yeah, so then I started my transition, and I felt like I had nothing. I mean, I was freshly married and very happy. Like Lex and I have a great connection and a great relationship, but yeah, that hurt a lot. It's only been 4 years since then, and I think, yeah, yeah, it's only been 4 years since then, and 3 years of transitioning, 4 years also of being clean, and damn, like, this is where I'm like, yo, this is a heavy ass topic, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I don't know if I was gonna cry tonight or not, but I don't think I'm going to. But not on here at least. But that just I don't know how else to say it other than that just hurt my feelings like really really bad. And of course then I went through a realization of having trauma from rejection, because I gave it my all. I gave that whole thing all of me, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do, and that's what I thought like would make me a better person and end up in a better place. And when our lives end, like I was gonna be good, and like I tried it. I tried everything, and it didn't work. And um, it's different than like, oh, I joined the book club and they kicked me out because you consciously chose to join the book club. You weren't born into the book club. And that's another thing. Like I totally understand. I understand why they excommunicate. Like, okay, let me back it up. I understand why they excommunicated me, not justifying that they like why they did. I'm like, okay, I get it. If you want to have a group or a club like that, everyone needs to speak your language, and if you don't speak your language, then you're gone. If you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, then you're out. And so like, and I wasn't speaking the language by on paper, and I was trying to drink the Kool-Aid, but I had to freaking pass it right past my house to the next person because I wasn't allowed to. But it was like, so I have like that perspective where I'm like, okay, like I get it. Like if you guys don't want gay people in your shit, like then don't have it. I get that. I'm not gonna try and fight that anymore because my naivety towards it is gone completely. I get it now. Like you don't want that in there. But here's the kind of slap in the face that I didn't really love. Um, so I got excommunicated, right? And then after that, they said, but you can still come. You just can't be a member. I was like, why does that seem worse? Like straight up, that seems worse. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry, but fuck you. No. Just no. I'm not, like, just no. Okay. I'm realizing I'm almost into an hour here. Oh, shit. I didn't even see any of these things. Oh, my God. Please tell me you guys are still on here. I literally have not been on here at all. Okay. I'm just, so I'm gonna read these comments real quick, because I haven't. And I'm so sorry. Okay, so what is that? Lemon limes and art or lemon limes aardvark or something. I can't see it from here. But it says, I think being in a room with a grown man and being made to talk about your sexual encounters is not, if it's not abuse, it's definitely super skeevy. Agreed. If you were in a job and a boss, if you were in a job and a boss or coworker was forcing you the same information out of you, wouldn't that be sexual harassment? Agreed. I absolutely, you know what, you're freaking right. I was underage. Um, yes, I absolutely agree with you. That is sexual. I mean, or not sexual, like abuse, but it is harassment. Like that's harassment. It is. And thank you. Yes, I agree. Like you said, you're happy that my mom had my back with that, and I am like unbelievably like yes, absolutely. And then it says, I want to go back in time and give your younger self a big hug and let you know that you're okay. That's really sweet. And then I'm not even remotely religious, but telling you or suggesting that you couldn't take the sacrament is horribly gatekeeping. Yes, agreed with that as well. It was literally terrible. And of course, the person who sees you at TJ Maxx not being in a church is also not in church. Therefore, yes, and therefore they're passing judgment. Agreed. You're 100% right on all of this shit. God, where have I been? When did you say all these things? And then, okay, I got Mallory K. Hey, girl. And she said, nobody should ever feel wrong or guilty for being their genuine self. And that is what drives me absolutely crazy about religion, the unrealistic box they're expect everyone to fit into. And yeah, that's like God, it was ridiculous. So then, lemon limes and aardvark. What does that say? Lemon limes aardvark. I don't forget that aardvark is spelled with like 2 A's, I think. I don't know. Am I an idiot? Who knows? And then you said, I agree. Unfortunately, religion's whole thing is to force things into a very particular box. And if you don't fit into that box, you will be forced into it or you'll run the hell away from it. Absolutely true. You weren't kicked out, you were set free. I now see that and agree with that. 100%. And let's see. Congrats on being clean. Thank you. Can you come? What? You can come, but you can't. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're still on here. I just talked about this. Awesome. I don't know why I can't see the timings on this. I'm not like super great with this as far as Twitch, like maneuvering or navigating, if you will. But no. So, yeah. You just say lemon. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Lemon, I appreciate that. That's really, your insight is incredible. Also, Ray the Nightingale. I'm also here, nice to talk. Yes, talk to me. I'm talking religion. I just told my entire story, which, yes, you're a little bit late for this story, but you can go back and rewatch it, and I'd love for you to reach out to me. I don't know if you can message on here or not, but my Instagram is Speaking Sylvester with no underscore, just Speaking Sylvester. And I'd love to hear from you. Um, Honestly, so insight games. How old are you? No, we don't have to do all that. I'm sorry. I was told that asking people's age is like not a cool thing. I don't really care because I get asked my age all the time. But oh, okay, word. So you've got insight. That's what's up, and I really appreciate it. Mm. I'm not having like 30 glasses of wine. This is literally like a 2-ounce pour. I don't know how. Is that a lot? I've never bartended in my life. 2 ounces, I feel like, is a small amount. Whatever. But so, yeah. Does anybody? Oh, you're 30. Okay, I'm 31 too. Is anyone on here that is transitioning or in transitioning or questioning or wanting information about stuff like that, or has a similar experience, or has like um, religious trauma in general, that have like any sort of like, could anyone relate to what I was talking about? Because I know there are people out there that can, and your child who came out as trans a year ago. Woo! Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I know some people, I heard some people's reactions to stuff like that, and they've been like, oh my god, how are you dealing with that? I'm so sorry. My reaction is congrats, you get a new perspective in your life, and it's great, and I love that. And it sounds like you're a very supportive person. I love that you're on here. Honestly, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love that. I love that so much. Ray the Nightingale. So you're in kind of. Talk to me. Are you? What's your situation? Let's see. I haven't gotten into medical transition yet. Came out to most of my friends and family. Congratulations, and your boyfriend. Sort of. Okay, cool. That's incredible. Have you started hormones yet? I mean, you don't have to answer any questions that I ask you. You can just be like, NA, like not available, or is that what that's, or say like, no, Andy, I'm not answering that. But like, okay, socially transition. Gotcha. Okay, so I might be naive as far as what socially transitioning means. Is that what it means when you are identifying as trans but haven't started hormones yet, and then or have like I'm being genuinely okay. You've been to the doctor appointment. Gotcha. Oh, sweet. You're a doctor yourself. Okay. So do you know like all about like I don't know. I know that hormones. It's kind of a okay. So you haven't taken hormones. Thank you. Okay. I know that hormone doc so my doctor back in North Carolina, when I started transitioning, I was her first patient that she ever like took a chance on to do transitioning, and that was like a huge deal because one, I was in a tiny town. Like, do you when I say you guys, like, do you doctors like that's a separate training, right? Or is that like a continue your education kind of thing? As far I don't know what kind of doctor you are. I don't know if you're like a primary care doctor or not, but yeah, I'm gonna give you a sec to maybe touch base on that while I answer or go back to Lemon real quick. How old is your child, Lemon? Let's see. Activated specializing in endocrinology. I want to be able to help other people transition too. Oh my god, my heart just freaking melted. You're incredible. I love that. Yeah, damn. Shit, that's literally incredible. I'm like, what can I help? Like, what can I do? Can I do anything? I want to do something. I'll be a doctor with you. No, I don't know how to do that. But this is my way of helping, I guess. But yes, that I agree with Lemon. That's incredible. Seriously though, because So I got a message. I got a message on Instagram recently from somebody who was in Iran, and this isn't the first person I've gotten a message from. Like when it comes to um, about what am I trying to say? When it comes to, okay, so I got a question about like, oh hey, I'm in Iran. Do I take testosterone before I get top surgery? And that was just like a random question, and I'm like, shit, like, who am I to know? I don't know. I don't know, like, what to do. I don't know what to tell you. But I didn't respond like that. I was like, okay, you know what? And then before I even responded, because I was at work, I think, and I responded. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I really want to get back to you on this, but I'm at work and I'll get back to you about it. And by the time I got back to them, they had told me about the lack of education that the doctors have where they are. And they comment on my stuff or like message me along and like talk about how my life is so beautiful and how this dude's in a tub. Yeah, I'm in a bathtub. Sorry. This is my bathtub live streams just to just add a little spice to like just talk about shit. And it's comfortable and I like to relax and here we are. But no, I just having this person tell me how lucky I was to have doctors that are educated. I was like, shit, like my biggest concerns were like, am I ready to do it? Or what steps am I going to take to do so? Or like, I don't know. It was interesting because we, like, my concerns weren't like, oh, I need to find a doctor who's educated. And that's like, fuck, man. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point because I just feel like so spoiled sometimes with like the most like the most simple things that should be a thing. And like I want to go back to Ray the Nightingale. Like you are specializing in this. You're adding. You're helping like the cause basically is what I'm saying, and I praise you for that because I think that's amazing, and I think you're incredible for doing that. We need more people like you. Um, yeah, it's sorry. Let's see. Sorry, opportunity. Oh, are you in Brazil? That's cool. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's oh sweet. Okay, very cool. I'm reading Lemon's comment right now where it says kiddo is 13, came out at 12, been on puberty blockers about 4 to 5 months, still trying to figure themselves out. Okay, so question Lemon because I transition or started my transition at 28, so um, I didn't know about puberty blockers. I didn't know like any of that kind of stuff. Can I might be like naive in asking this, but like is that I guess what did that is that hormonal? Like this might be like the dumbest question. I really don't know. I wish I could just Google it real quick, but I figured that you might know. Is that like that's not taking hormones, right? It's something like to counteract the hormones that are changing. Is that correct? I'll give you a sec to respond on that. I know I'm kind of like a couple seconds delayed, um, but hold on one sec. Just want to see how to view my chat thing on this. Oh, I don't know. But let's see. Yes. Okay, yeah, it is hormonal. Gotcha. That's I kind of figured so. It had to be something like that. It doesn't add hormones. It suppresses the ones that the body generates. Okay, cool. I'm learning something new. Because that I don't even know like how long has that even been a thing. I know recently. I mean, I know like for at least the past like 10 years that's been a thing for sure. But yeah, this is just interesting. So we can start at 10. It's wait, hold on. I'm missing shit. You guys are having your own conversation, and I love it because I'm getting to learn a bunch of new shit. Let's see. In puberty blockers when you're not okay. What was like? What do they make you feel? Because I know like my first year on testosterone made me feel like a damn psycho, and like I know um, going through puberty is crazy enough. let alone going through puberty with like all that going on. Let's see. I'm really pissed right now that I can't figure out how to view my chat thing on here. I'm so sorry. Full screen. Well, that's not it. Anyways, I'm gonna give up for the fourth time and just call it. But I'm not gonna lie, like, oh shit, what is that? Oh my god. Yo, my screen is going wild right now. I'm so sorry. Okay. Wow. That's a lot. Anyways, first off, I just want to thank you guys for being on here with me right now. Because this honestly, this whole topic all day today has been really fucking me up. Because religion can be just insane and not make any sense. Wow, it stopped your boobs from growing? That's so. Ray the Nightingale, did you did your parents obviously were supportive? You were 9 when that went down. Okay, so you're 30. Damn. Okay, so this shit's been around. Yeah, I know. You guys took over, but I'm fine with it. It's all good. No, because I spilled like my entire hour-long story. Like I'm totally set to watch you guys chat and ask my own little questions for you guys as well. But that's I didn't know that came out like 20 years ago. That's honestly insane. And so your parents obviously were okay with you guys or with you, and yeah, I'm like, talk to me about that. Oh, they didn't do it because they thought you were trans though. So what was the reasoning, or like how were they? I don't know. I guess I just don't. I feel kind of naive when it comes to puberty blockers because I literally have never. Yeah, I've just never done it, or I didn't even really know about it, to be real. But gotcha. On early onset puberty. Oh, damn! You guys know everything. Not, I mean, like you guys know a lot more than I do. This is great. I feel like I'm learning so much right now. So it's not super common, but there are cases with the two-year-old toddlers having periods. What? Are you for real? Oh my god. Very short because of it, entering puberty too soon. Wow. Oh my god. So this, yeah, we just started a whole new thing right here. First off, 2-year-olds having periods. That is, I had no idea about that being a thing. Do you feel, Ray the Nightingale? Do you feel that? I guess what I'm asking is, when did you feel and realize that you felt this way, or that felt this way about yourself and your body? Lena Medina sounds like a TV show. Like wait, is that? Well, now you know I'm gonna Google it. Come on. Especially when it's called Lena Medina. Is that for real? Okay, I'm gonna look it up later. I'm not gonna do that right now because oh shit! It's a person. I thought that was like a code. Like not a code. I thought that was like shit. I don't know what I thought it was. Obviously, I don't. I thought it was like a medical term. Yep. Here we are. This is why I do hair. Okay, so you started treatment, but only started feeling dysphoria when you were 14. Okay, so it was after like puberty. But you don't even remember feeling like a girl when you were a toddler. I can relate to that 100%. I remember my first crush in preschool was a girl, and she was my good friend, and I remember like always trying to do like weird shit to impress her or to get her to notice me, and like that was preschool. Like that wasn't like later on in life when you like hear about the trend of whatever and like it was like raw feeling, you know, like as a kid. And yeah, even in elementary school, I remember trying to impress this other girl. I think her name was Madeline. I don't know. But yeah, it's just. And then I was weirded out. I remember in kindergarten. I remember like super not understanding anything about the fact that I had to go into a different bathroom as like my two guy friends, and like okay, Ray, same. I remember sixth grade. I had like a big crush on this guy named Sam, but I also had a big crush on a girl. But I didn't know like I mean, referencing back to like my Mormon childhood, like I didn't know that being bisexual was a thing, and I didn't know that being. I mean, I knew about gay men, but I didn't know about like girls dating girls. I didn't know like it was just so. It was so. Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah, it was like I didn't understand it, and I didn't feel like I had anyone I could talk to about it either. Like, you can bet your ass I'm not gonna talk to the school counselor or whatever. But yeah. So I'm hitting just over an hour and 10. Uh, I mean, like that doesn't mean much, but I honestly, I think I'm gonna jump off of here in a second. But I would love for you guys to meet me back here. I'm doing this every Monday night at 8:30 um, Central Time. I don't know what time that means for you guys, but uh, I know it literally, literally, lemon. My water is like not warm at all right now. But and there's still bubbles, and I didn't even get to show off. You're on the East Coast. Okay, so what does that mean for like timing for you? 6 hours. Not sure about it. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. I said 6 hours. Okay, that's the UK. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking straight right now. I just vented like my whole life out of my mouth, and now we're here, and my water is cold. But I do have this like really wicked cool entire like it's like a tub like bed. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please, I would love to see you guys again next week. Mondays at 8:30 Central Time, so whatever time that means for you. Do I have lumbar support? Kind of. It's I would. Let me just. You know what? I'm gonna do a little advertisement for Amazon, if you will, without flashing my entire body. So this goes like all the way down. Like I'm sitting on it, I'm leaning against it. It does kind of get a little slouchy. Why haven't I been doing this the entire time? This is nice. I know why, because I'm literally physically holding my computer up above water and just living on the edge. Here we go. It's a pleasure bathing with you. You know what? It was a pleasure bathing with you guys too. I really am. I'm hoping that everyone is in their own bathtub at the moment, and we can just do this together in a weird way. But yeah, please come back. I would love to have you guys on again. I love you guys. This is honestly, yeah, I know electronics and water, but at least I'm live. Everyone will know what happened. There would be no suspect for murder. I'm just kidding. I've got a good grip on it. I'm not doing this long, but I do need to lean back because my back hurts. This is where the cushion came into play. But yeah, guys, find me on Instagram. Message me. I would love to get either like subjects or topics or something that you guys want to chat about. I'm always down. I'm really, really, really into this. I'm really into what we're doing here. And I would love to have you guys back. Really enough. You were about to go shower, and here we are. Oh God. Nah, you guys are great. Seriously, and I like I said for like the 20th time, I would love to have you back. Just please, I would love that. Yeah, I think you guys, your questions and your addition to this really helped cap it off. And I'm sorry I didn't see them sooner. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I love that just happened, and I learned something new from you guys that I didn't know before. So that was really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here because, like I said, my water is not warm whatsoever. So yeah, find me on Instagram, Speaking Sylvester. You can find me on YouTube, but I'm just now putting up some videos, so there's not much going on there just yet. But whatever, we'll figure it out. One thing at a time. Here we are. Well, have a good night. I'm getting out of here. You find me there following you. Oh, what's your name on there? Because I want to make sure I follow you back. Because I'm a good man. No, I just do. I just want to make sure I'm following you back. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, if you're still. Either way, I'm on here and I'll find you, goddammit. I will find you. Oh, shit. Okay, well, watch out for that. Alright, I'm getting out of here before I make a fucking mess and embarrassment of myself in the bathtub. It's been great, you guys. It really has. This was very therapeutic for me. But also, I'm very happy to have shared my story. Yeah. If I don't click stop, I will be here all night. So I'm going to click stop right now. I will see you guys again next Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, whatever that means for you. Yeah, it's been great. See ya.